So, welcome to another episode of The Women and the Weird. Tonight, we are going to talk about de-extinction. For those who don't know what that is, that's about bringing things back from the dead. That can range from the animal or prehistoric. So, who would like to start first? Suzanne?
Okay. The first animal to be brought back was the dire wolf. They did some genetic engineering to cross it with the gray wolf to bring back three pups: Romulus, Remus, and Kessie. They were the very first successfully de-extinct animal, and they had originally died off about 12,500 years ago. Anybody next?
Yeah, the female's name is actually Khaleesi, like the Game of Thrones reference.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Khaleesi.
My notes are wrong.
It's okay.
Okay, so the dire wolf was the first one to be brought back. Mm-hmm. Was there any particular reason they decided to bring this wolf back? Was it just to an experiment, just to see if it actually works?
I think it was mainly because they chose the dire wolf strictly because of Game of Thrones.
That's true, yes.
And because everybody was all, excited about dire wolves and, we have to have them. And I think that's why they chose that one to go with first, just to try it out and see if they could get it to, thrive. My only problem with the dire wolf and some of the other de-extinction animals that they're trying to bring back is they kind of some of them went extinct for a reason and not just hunting. Their environments had changed, food sources weren't readily available. So if they're going to bring back certain animals, they need to bring back the vegetation as well.
Yeah, of course, the diet was different, wasn't it?
Back
in those days, yeah.
Does anybody know what's happening in 2027?
Please
Which part?
Yeah.
What they're bringing back in 2027?
I'm assuming it's the woolly mammoth.
It is the woolly mammoth.
And after that, I think it may actually be the tiniest dinosaur with the longest name.
Okay.
Oh.
Back the woolly mammoth, they're taking their genes and altering them with Asian elephants, and they're bringing them back, and then they're going to put them in an Arctic habitat to help the ecosystem. So they're actually bringing that one back for a reason. But when you're talking about bringing back dinosaurs, no, that's a hard pass. No, thank you.
There's 4 or 5 movies now that say that's a bad idea.
I mean, what would they? I understand the woolly mammoth, they're doing it for a reason. They're trying to save the planet. But why are we bringing back dinosaurs?
But there was a reason why they went extinct.
It was called a giant meteor.
Well, yeah, you could say that was the act of God or natural disaster. But, the question is, are we playing God?
Well, the other theory with the meteor is that it was actually a target goodbye event, because there were things going on with the dinosaurs that another possible entity didn't think was a good idea.
I just
Courtney laugh. She knows exactly what I'm talking about.
I mean, it's possible. I look at it from this standpoint. Okay, yes, we have this supposed meteor that wiped out most of the dinosaurs, but at the same time, their food sources were running out as well. So the meat eaters were fine. They were eating whatever they could find that was meat related, other dinosaurs, whatnot. But your herbivores and your vegetarian dinosaurs, they were out of food, or at least running out.
The question is, if, they say the dinosaur was wiped out, but there's drawings of dinosaurs from cavemen. So why didn't it wipe out the humans?
Because we adapted.
Well, we did adapt, but the thing is, though, is you have to realize that not all of the dinosaurs went extinct at the same time.
there were also plenty of cave systems at that point too.
Yeah.
Right. Plus, you also had human-like beings that were coexisting with some of these dinosaurs, depending on what prehistoric age you're referring to. I mean, you had Homo habilis and all of these other ones, and so they were a gradual progression. So yeah, you had some of them.
Okay.
Did anybody look into the company that's doing this?
I did not.
Colossal Biosciences.
Yeah, Colossal Biosciences is a privately owned company. And it says they started out with $15 million of their own seed money. And since it's privately owned, you can't buy stock into it. And then what they did was they held a fundraiser and were selling stock within themselves to like family and friends and everything. And then they raised $60 million. So they have $75 million to deal, to play with right now to figure out what animals they're going to bring back.
Yeah, I have been absolutely spamming their account going, there are 3 animals you can bring back right now to make the world a better place. We just lost the blue macaws not too long ago. There's only 2 female white rhinos left.
They're on
I
the
forgot
list.
what the other one was.
They are. The rhinoceros is on the list right now.
The white rhinos?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that down to poachers rather than habitat with the white rhinos?
I think it's a combination of both. I think the poachers were the main issue, but I think loss of habitat has, not helped the situation.
Oh, okay.
Well, not only that, but they just weren't reproducing the way that most normal rhinos should.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They have the woolly mammoth, the Tasmanian tiger, the northern white rhinoceros,
that was it.
dire wolf, the dodo, and the moa. And the dodo died because they only lay 1 egg a year. And these Dutch sailors went to their island and they ate them all and killed them.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
And then
that's why the dodo bird went out, is because we ate them all.
Yeah, and they introduced other animals to the island that weren't originally there. They had no predators until humans showed up, and then the other animals were eating their eggs and stuff too. So, yeah.
Well, when you get an egg big enough, you can scramble for the whole camp. I mean, why not?
Well, they only lay 1 egg a year, and plus they weren't afraid of humans. So of course, they walked up to him or whatever, flew up to him, and
the dodos were not known to be the smartest birds.
They're flightless.
Zero survival instinct.
That is true. So how did...
And that island...
Go ahead.
The island that they were on it's in the Indian Ocean. It's supposed to be 500 miles off the eastern coast of Madagascar. And if you're looking at it from above, it has the illusion of having an underwater waterfall, which is kind of crazy in itself. It's like just a really strange island.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What I was actually going to ask is, they're on about cloning as well. I don't know. I mean, that doesn't sit comfortable with me. I think bringing back something that is extinct does not sit comfortable with me, because scientists can go too far with that. So, I know there was news about cloning a sheep, of all things.
Yeah, Dolly.
How far is that going to go? Are they going to go and clone human beings, or
they probably are already cloning humans. They're just not letting us know.
They're already doing. You can find it on the internet. They're already trying to use tissues and stem cells to grow organs for transplants and things, but so far they've only done smaller organs.
Because I know
they're doing that too, so they can find out, if you have like cancer of the liver, they're trying to reproduce it so they can watch it grow to see how they can figure out how to get
Now
rid
that
of
I like, I
Mhm.
agree with that, because you can take a liver or whatever from somebody, but it's got somebody else's imprint. It's someone else's, and you have it in your body rejects it. So the stem cells, I quite like the way they're using that, but the cloning and
They can take your own stem cells and use, this is really technical, but they can take your own and 3D printing to create a tissue structure that will grow in the petri dish and then put it into your body, and your body won't reject it because it's your own stem cells. So that has really gone far and beyond, to the point where, hey, we can just clone a human from your own stem cells or your own tissue and everything else.
Well, and that's kind of what they're working towards. That's what they're working towards anyway. But I mean, it's kind of the same thing with cryogenics. People wanted to have themselves frozen and preserved so that way when they find the technology to bring them back, they can live again. I mean, it's basically all about, living forever and immortality than anything else. But it does have its benefits, as far as like the stem cell stuff, regrowing someone else's, someone's organs. It eliminates the wait time for transplant recipients, and you're also not having to take pills to make sure that transplant doesn't get rejected because it's your own body.
Sorry, there's also something else that I wanted to bring up during this conversation, since I'm hearing the direction that it's going. There was a new blood group, a new blood type found in a woman in India.
No way.
Aliens.
Outside of what we have now, they actually discovered a new blood group.
Okay, what's the blood group?
Let's see. Curiosity. Hang on, let me scroll through here and find it. It was actually sent to, let's see, the International Blood Group Reference Laboratory at Bristol in the UK to be studied. Let's see. Trying to find exactly what they're calling it. I don't think they've actually named it yet.
They probably haven't, because I mean we have our.
Oh, wait! Yes, they did.
Oh, they did.
They're calling it crib, CRIB.
Huh?
Why would they call it crib? Why not go with the?
Because you put the baby in the crib, I guess.
Well, no.
Because she's the first woman to be discovered with this particular blood group,
I suppose.
So it's.
But I mean, you figure you have
a new era, I guess.
You have your A's, B's, and O's. Why not have a D or a Z or something?
Right.
Yeah.
That would make sense. They're having a few problems with the organs that they're trying to grow. One of them is having it put in with the proper blood supply to it so it doesn't die off. Another one is your nervous system and your immune system. Even when they're deriving it from your own cells, they're still having some issues. But with the way science is these days, I'm sure they'll have it figured out within a year or two.
Right.
And that'll be the next thing on the news.
Let's see. They're calling it, this was crib, a conglomeration of CR and IB put together, Cromer in India and Bangalore. This antigen is an innovation that has not been reported in other parts of the world either. So she may be a one-off of something completely random, because at present she's the only one with it.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a mutation. I mean,
it could be.
Look at evolution in itself. I mean, it's just a basic, cluster of mutations that whatever the dominant mutation was kind of won out, and it suited itself for the environment.
Okay, what about selective breeding?
Hey, people have been doing that for years with animals, Look at all the dog breeds that cross different breeds and things like that.
I mean, you can do it. You could do it with people too.
Yeah. Well, you have in vitro. That's kind of the same thing.
It's to some degree. Yeah. I mean, I think there was something I had read once before where if you're going to have in vitro, like you can actually have what they call designer children, where you tell, the surgeon, I want, this kid to have blonde hair, blue eyes, or, I want him to have olive skin tone and, brown eyes or whatever, your preference is.
And if you're doing that, the bad genes out too. But.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that's beneficial in a way. Because
that's the exact reason why they came up with the CRISPR technology, was to be able to edit the entire genome.
Modifying.
Yeah. That's how they bred those wolf pups.
Right.
Yes, but they did.
If you think about it, if you're, if you have a whole family that, is susceptible to, say, diabetes, right? You can weed that gene out. Same thing with obesity. Same thing with other genetic, defects and mutations like heart valve defects and stuff like that. Usually that stuff is genetic. So if you can find, the sequences that cause that and weed it out, then you have a much healthier human, I suppose.
Yeah, but that's where you get into the point of playing God right there.
They're already playing God.
Well, they're already doing that. They are actually trying to grow what they're considering to be spare living bodies, specifically for extra human body parts and organs.
Yay!
I mean, they would essentially, according to this article from MIT right here, spare living human bodies might provide us with organs for transplantation, but will these bodyoids ever be ethically acceptable? And that was March of this year that this was published. So they are already going to the point of basically adapting the entire realm of de-extinction to make sure that we have spare parts so we don't go extinct.
Well, if I'm going to have a spare body, I'd like it to be skinny and to transfer those parts into me. Oh, we're good.
Yeah, but the problem with that is, does it prolong life?
They've also got a procedure where they can move your brain into a whole other body.
Yes, but the brain also can die. Can it not?
It can, and I think that would take a lot more work. But I mean, we've seen the horror movies before where like Man with Two Brains, and they're switching brains. Or you have like a Dr. Moreau where it's like a human brain in a dog's body or something. Stuff like that. Yeah, it can be done. Whether we have the technology to actually do it successfully right now, I don't know. But yes, the brain can die. But it depends on how. Because we know, like, if our nervous system, what shuts down? Our organs shut down. Blood supply stops when we die. But there's studies suggesting that the brain is still alive and active even after we have passed on.
8 minutes.
How long they don't know. It was 10 minutes? Okay.
8 minutes.
Oh, 8? Yeah,
8 minutes.
That's a scary thought. I
have a side note to that one too, but it's probably best for another discussion.
It probably. But
rabbit hole.
Yeah. Obviously, like I said, it can be done. Should it be done? I don't know. Now, if you take a healthy brain that was in a dying body, and you transport it into a healthy body with healthy organs and stuff like that, then yeah, I don't see why that wouldn't be successful. And why it wouldn't prolong the brain.
I could actually see a problem with that.
The problem is you've got two minutes to resuscitate someone before the brain dies of oxygen, a lack of oxygen. So, the thing is, how are they going to keep the brain alive?
Life support.
Probably
They
the
do
same
it
way
every day.
it's probably the same way they keep the heart pumping.
Yeah.
As long as they keep the circulation going, it will get the oxygen it needs.
Well, that and air for the lungs, because
yes,
I mean, when somebody is in a coma or they're in a horrible accident and they're put on life support, the machines are breathing for them. The machines are, acting as their organs. So it's keeping the brain alive. It's keeping the organs technically alive until they can be fixed. So it's basically the same thing. The same thing happens with organ donation. Somebody's on life support, and as soon as that person is technically brain dead, at least it's how it's supposed to work, then they go in and they harvest the organs, but they have to keep blood flow going through those organs by the machines.
And they also have to get it on ice immediately, so it freezes the electrical impulses inside the nerves.
Yeah.
When they take it out of the ice and they immediately begin to reconnect it, as soon as it starts warming up back to normal body temperature, as long as you have the nerves connected and all of the arteries reconnected, etc., it'll start picking up and healing as long as the electrical impulses are telling it to connect.
Right.
At least that's my understanding of it.
Yeah, and that's, because they did the same thing with frogs. So, yeah.
That's actually where I learned it from, high school biology.
Did you know when you get a kidney transplant, they don't actually take a kidney out? They attach the new one to the bad one.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I beg to differ on that slightly.
It's true.
A friend of mine had her kidney actually removed. It had to come out because it was going to get necrotic if it didn't. And
when
then
you get a transplant, they transplant the one onto the bad one.
Yes, but they had, like what I'm saying, because she actually got to keep her kidney in a jar. And so they actually took it out.
I don't know if I would do that or not, but that's not a transplant. They just took it out.
No, they had to give her another kidney, is what I'm saying. Like, it was a transplant. Like, they took that kidney out and they put the new one in. She's got her kidney.
Official organ swapping.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a thing.
I mean, it may not be, the usual or the norm, but that's what was done.
I think it depends on the surgeon, doesn't it? Let's be honest.
I mean, yeah.
It probably also depends on the situation, too.
Right. I mean, if you have a kidney that's failing but will sustain with it, something, another kidney attached to it, from getting it, from keeping it kind of from decaying, let's say, then yeah, it's possible. But this one was already getting necrotic, which was causing problems. Mm-hmm. So
that's a direct pipeline for sepsis.
Right. You can't have decay in your body and not die from that.
When we took our classes at the Mayo Clinic, that's what they told us. They said there's some people walking around with 6 kidneys in them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that would be great. I'd have 6 of them that would filter out like my kidney stones. Or of course, my luck, I would end up with all 6 of them having kidney stones at the same time.
That's freaky, because that's like my childhood nightmare brought to life from an episode of Invader Zim. And anybody who's actually seen that show and watched all the episodes knows exactly which episode I'm talking about.
I don't think, me personally, I don't want a transplant of any kind. If I did get sick, I wouldn't want a transplant. But me being healthy, I would give somebody one of my kidneys, if they needed one. I would do that.
Well, technically, you only need one to live.
Yeah. Technically, yeah. I just don't want... I don't want anything in me that's not already mine. Even if we did the stem cell thing and everything, I still no. But I would give one of mine. I would give a healthy kidney to somebody that.
Well,
if they were to actually
blood?
Oh, sorry,
that's okay. What about like if you needed a blood transfusion? Are you going
synthetic? Transfusion. I would refuse one.
It's really funny that you said that because I had to have emergency surgery. I don't know, about 15, 20 years ago. I'm really bad with timelines. And they took so much blood out of me. So if I needed a blood transplant, I would have my own blood.
Right.
I didn't know what they were doing at the time, but they took so much blood I about passed out. And when I was telling a friend of mine, they're like, "But that doesn't sound right, Suzanne. You can't. You might have been under anesthesia. I don't believe that." And then the nurse was like, "Yeah, they actually did because her white blood cell count was so high that they just took her blood because any other blood would put her in shock."
Right. And they do that. I mean, you can go and donate blood and say, okay, I want to use this later if I need it, and it'd be your blood. You can do that. Anytime I've had to go have surgery, they're like, well, are you okay with, regular blood? I'm like, dude, you can give me dog's blood. I don't care. As long as,
I don't really, the blood part, that doesn't bother me. It's like kidneys and whatever else, liver and
well, I mean, they're already trying to 3D print the organs with the stem cells that come out of you anyway.
Yes, that's what I was talking about.
And I think there was also an experiment with that where they were trying to grow it in a pig.
Yeah. They're doing that.
And since we're talking about growing things in a dish, can we talk about this chicken and beef that they're growing?
Okay.
Oh. No, thank you.
Go on.
Okay. Well, they were taking, it's called cultured meat. They're taking cells from out of animals. They're actual cells. Like what they're trying to do is get rid of the cows because of the emissions and the gas and everything.
Okay.
They take the stem cell out of the cow and they mix it with these fatty, nutrient-rich environment, and it produces a muscle. And then they take it and shape it into a meat form, and it's supposed to taste like it. Like if it's beef, it's supposed to taste exactly like beef because it's made with their stem cells. But they're molding it and forming it, and no,
I would rather do Soylent Green than do that.
I'd rather be a vegetarian if that happens.
That was going to be the next thing. Do you want to tell us what Soylent Green, that movie, what that was about?
So basically, it was an old movie, and the premise is that they were grinding up people, like the elderly and stuff like that, and like you had certain colors. You had Soylent Green, and you had Soylent Blue, and I think there was a Soylent Red, and it was different nutrients from these people's bodies. Like red was like the meat, green was like the vegetable proteins, I think it was, if I remember correctly, and I forget what blue was. I don't even want to go with blue, but I mean, basically you were just rounding up the elderly and the poor and the homeless, and you were just eating them.
It was 1973 movie, and
I could remember.
It was that the world was overpopulated, so they had to feed people somehow. They were using deceased bodies, and feeding them. But right now, in 2013, there is such a thing called Soylent meal replacement products, which are supposed to be like Soylent Green, but it's made out of like soy and peas and rice.
There's actually Walmart sells it. My daughter found it. It's called Soylent Green. Literally, Soylent Green is the name of it. It's a drink. She tried it. She said it tasted awful. I said, I bet it did. I said, you never saw that movie, did you?
No.
So I wouldn't.
Speaking of fake meat, Beyond Meat has officially filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
Good.
Yes.
They couldn't get USDA approved.
There's
a couple states that actually said that no, they were not going to sell that in their state. And then there was a few states in the U.S. that actually approved it for sale, but
nobody wanted it.
No, in fact, Burger King had something. It was some kind of burger. It was supposed to be a veggie burger, but it was something about.
We have that in England.
Yeah, it's like something like
Yeah.
Beyond Meat or something. Well, we accidentally got some of those. It was purely accident. They mixed up our order. We didn't know. And we're eating. We're like, this is disgusting. Don't know what it was. I think it was that,
Well, it's a plant-based meat. Of course it's not going to taste good because plants are not meat.
No.
Soybeans.
I mean, I've had soybeans before that don't taste like soybean. I don't know. I mean, give me tofu. I'll eat tofu just fine. I like it, but I mean, don't put meat flavoring on it. It kind of defeats the purpose of meat.
I don't know what tofu is. I've never had it.
You've never had it?
No, we sell it here, and I've never tried it.
It doesn't have a flavor. It has no flavor. It takes on the flavor of whatever you cook it in. So it's usually used in like soups and stuff like that. You can fry it. You can do a whole lot of things with it, but it takes on the flavor of what it's cooked in. Kind of like Whittier mushrooms. Whittier mushrooms have no flavor, and they will take on whatever the flavor of whatever you're cooking them in.
It's also used in a whole lot of Asian dishes.
Yeah,
it is very prominently used in the Asian countries,
and it's some kind of soy based. It's soy based. I know that maybe it's like soybean curd or something like that. I'm really not sure. But I mean, tastes fine to me. I like it. I mean, I'm not going out there and buying tofu and eating that because, well,
I buy miso soup by the box because with my previous Japanese ties, we used to eat a lot of it. So I still eat quite a bit of the miso soup.
Yeah.
I love miso soup.
I do too. It's so good.
I need some now.
Okay, question, ladies. What would you do if the scientists brought back the biggest bad boy going?
I'd be like, y'all have fun. I'm going to go hide in that cave system over there. Don't bother coming to look for me. Bye. Have fun.
I'm not afraid of I'm afraid of like the velociraptor. That's what I'm afraid of. It's not the biggest one, but it sure is mean.
And it's one of the
mean and fast.
Well, I mean, if they bring back T-Rex, I mean, the people in Louisiana are going to want hunting season, and we're going to have T-Rex steaks because why not?
Well, I mean, probably Texas too because it's legal to hunt Bigfoot out here if we find him. So why not?
Really?
Yes,
and like
you can legally, and it is on the books. You can legally hunt Bigfoot. So I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure snatch you up. No.
Yeah, that's why I stay inside.
I'm so short that pterodactyl, like, ooh, dinner.
Oh, look, it's a bunny. Wait, it's a two-legged bunny.
Even better.
No.
So, I mean, this de-extinction, I just think that, one, they're acting like God, and secondly, they are going to go above and beyond, and this could actually destroy the human race. If you think about it, they're going to bring back creatures that are long ago extinct, and we're going to be the prey.
Well, I mean,
because there is nothing, I mean, if you think about it, those massive creatures, they're going to go and hunt things like cows and stuff like that. One is not going to satisfy them. So if they wipe out what animals we do have.
Well, you also have to look at their sheer size too. I mean,
yeah,
T-Rex could literally step on a house and, crush the house.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they'll go that far. I say that, but that would mean that they actually have common sense, which is lacking these days.
But it's all about making a name, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Right. Like I said, I don't think they would go that far, but I wouldn't put it past them. Now, if they would bring back honest politicians, I'd be happy with that. Oh, wait, sorry. I don't think they ever made those.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
Anywhere.
No, nowhere. But I mean, there's certain, like I said, when you're talking animals, even people, really. I mean, if you think about it, you need a food source to sustain it. So, like things like woolly mammoth. I mean, they're gonna stick them up in Antarctica and that area, like a cold. There's no vegetation. There's nothing. How is he going to survive? That's why they went. The majority of the reason why they went extinct was because of the Ice Age. Yeah. They could only survive until their food source ran out or people ate them. I mean, because cavemen were hunting them while they were starving.
I mean, we all watched, Jurassic Park. Is it going to be one of those? Is it going to be exactly like that?
Well, I mean, look, we had how many Terminator movies? And we even have a company called Skynet. And it's all AI. It's all robotics. I mean, the company itself is like, hey, we're Skynet. Dude, that was a bad name for your company. We have movies for that. Now we know why. Yeah. It's the same thing. Either
with de-extinction, if InGen pops up, we know we're in trouble. I mean, that's just all there is to it.
Right? I mean, literally, if it's going to go one or two ways. Either robots are going to take over and kill us all.
I watched that you sent, Jade. Right.
Or we're going to have dinosaurs that are going to eat us. Either way, we're extinct.
And that's assuming the solar flares and the meteors and asteroids don't get us first.
Or the alien battleship that's on its way to the Earth.
Those are friendly aliens.
Yeah, see, that was supposed to be here, I think, last week, or it's supposed to be here this week, or since they jumped timelines from November up until hey, guess what? We have 2 weeks. Oh, fantastic! Anything else you care to share?
To be next year.
Last I heard, the first time I heard about that, it was supposed to be 2027. Okay. Right. And then all of a sudden, Avi Loeb comes out and says, oh, yeah, it'll probably be here by November. Fast forward to last week after the November announcement, and he's like, oh, my calculations were wrong. It's supposed to be 2 weeks. And I'm like, what? What? Are you kidding? What?
Well, they're not here yet.
They're
know. On their way.
I'm waiting. TikTok.
They must have taken a United flight.
I know, right?
Delayed.
They took a Southwestern flight.
DP.
Either that or they jumped Virgin Galactic and said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna sit in the back."
Y'all know who Dustin Perry is, right?
Yes.
Okay. He gets stuck in more airports and more flight delays than anybody I know. I started calling it a DP syndrome.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Dustin Perry. Anywhere he's going, he's guaranteed to be in an airport for 2 days.
That's because they have to make room for all the aliens from out of space to get on his plane.
Yes. And the lady that can, seriously call him out and say, that MFer's not real.
Yep.
Those
two.
Those are the ones that fascinate me. So I hope those never go extinct.
So my next question is, everyone in this talk are animal lovers. The biggest question is, what about animal welfare? They're going to bring these animals back.
Well,
and what else are they experimenting on?
They don't need to bring the animals back. They're gone for a reason. Don't want to see them. Don't want to see a dinosaur. No, thank you. None of that. And that's one of the reasons they were trying to pass off this artificial meat to us, too, because they were saying it was good for the animals because we don't have to raise cows and then slaughter them for food and stuff like that. But
But they're still animals. That's the
they're,
thing. They're still animals. They're still living, breathing animals.
And they're still food regardless. So
trying to bring back the dinosaur, but make the cow extinct. What's wrong with this world?
No,
they have their
common
priorities
sense.
backwards.
That's all I'm going to
No
say.
common sense.
Hmm.
And I'm sorry, there aren't enough cows on the face of this planet for them to and have them fart enough to cause an issue. I'm sorry. Cows just don't fart that much.
Well, not only that, but trees produce more carbon than a human breathing. So
Or a cow farting.
that too. Well, they're more worried about the methane with that one. But the earth produces more of that than the cows do. So their logic is flawed.
They don't. I mean, it'd be different if there was one cow per every square inch of the earth that was farting constantly with really bad gas. Maybe that would be an issue. But there's not. These people have never been on a cattle farm ever in their lives. I guarantee it.
And they apparently haven't been around enough volcanoes either.
Yeah, obviously.
Right. So, what about the unintended consequences if they bring these, reintroducing these species? Could it disrupt our ecosystem?
We could very easily go from the top of the food chain to the bottom.
Well, it could. All right, so that's a good question. I mean, the thing is, depending on the animal, you're either going to have us at the bottom of the food chain, or they're going to deplete every resource that's in their area. And it really depends. Now, white rhinos, not an issue. The blue macaws, I seriously doubt it. But when you have like things like dire wolves, they're a lot bigger of a wolf. Their diet is a little different, even though it's very similar. So they're going to wipe out like rabbit populations and rat populations. They'll probably even wipe out, cats and dogs in that area. There's things that they're going to eat that they really shouldn't.
We have a really bad coyote problem in this area. And these two hunters, I can't remember when it was, but they followed one back to its den. And when they got in there, there was, I think they said 70 dog and cat collars in there that the coyotes ate them.
Was that, was it in a suburban area or a city area? Because they don't do that in rural areas.
I don't know where it was. I know it was in Alabama.
I love my coyotes, honestly.
I live about 5 minutes away from a main highway, but I live in the country. I'm like surrounded by a winery and a farm field and, cemeteries.
Yeah, this was probably someplace where the pack hunted, like, was more suburban or city instead of out in the country. Because, see, where I'm at, we have coyotes. Our packs have dwindled because we have idiots, but okay. But I've had outside cats, that just showed up. We've had coyotes in the area, never bothered the cats. Not once. I've had them where, and I've said this before in one of the spaces, where the pack actually followed me from the other side of town.
Wow.
It was one of those weird things. And my husband and daughter could be outside and they would be right there and wouldn't make a sound. I go outside, they start howling. Of course, they're all in the tree lines, right? But I got so used to them that I could distinguish between that pack and the other pack that was around. But they've never bothered any of my animals. They get a bad rap, but they're basically just like domesticated dogs with pack mentality. And we've had pack dogs out here that were, people just weren't taking care of their dogs. They form packs. They let them do whatever and let them roam. And those are the ones that are killing the cats and other people's dogs and their chickens and this and that. Because coyotes like an easy meal. They want something easy. So they're going after rats. They're going after snakes. They're going after rabbits. Those are, and other rodents, those are their main food sources when it comes to meat. They will eat certain grasses and vegetation, but their main food source is rodents and snakes. And they will eat snakes. They're not really wanting to go after your cat because, well, cats hurt. A cat will
back.
Right, they will fight back. Same thing with a dog. They really don't want to get in the fight with another dog because, again, that's going to hurt. It's going to cause damage to them. They want the easy stuff.
Well, they also have no problem. They also have no problem snatching birds right out of the air when it's really, really hot outside.
Exactly.
Because the second they land on the ground, they're done.
Right. They try to get in the chicken coops around here too.
Yeah, they'll get in chicken coops, but again, it's easy prey. A cat, you're going to have to chase. A dog, you're going to have to chase. You're going to have to work for it. I mean, yeah, you're going to have to work a little bit for a rabbit, but how much damage is a rabbit going to do to a coyote? Not much. Same thing with a chicken. Not much.
You said cat and mine jumped in my lap, so she heard you.
Oh, wow. It's like, hi. But they'll go after possums and they'll go after raccoons. Now, a raccoon is probably a little bit more of a threat to them. Yeah, to some degree. But it depends because raccoons fight better in the water than on land. So I'm told.
Here's a question for you.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say, how do you know that?
Observation and reading is how I know this.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I've never thought about
On the de-extinction front, what predator do you think we could bring back to get the anaconda population back under control?
Oh, geez.
None.
Because if you let an anaconda go for long enough, maybe eventually it'll end up being a titanopython.
I mean, it's quite possible.
But an anaconda is a massive snake.
Yes, it is.
And it's also, because of the nature of its size, is it not prehistoric?
No.
Or is it a new
reptiles? No, reptiles will actually get bigger than that if their food supply allows it in their environment.
If their area allows
You'd have to bring back the saber-toothed tiger, I think, to kill those.
I'm okay with this.
I don't know that I want that.
I don't want a saber-toothed
tiger. I would rather have a saber-toothed tiger roaming this planet than giant anacondas. I'm not a big fan of the giant snakes. Just no.
Don't live in the areas where the giant anacondas live.
Oh, no. I'm just saying if they climb out of the Amazon, if they decide to widen their territory outside of the Amazon, we need a backup plan for that.
No.
It's called run.
This also goes with...
They're faster.
This goes with evolution, too. I mean, if you look at things in the past like pygmies, you had the pygmy humans, right? They lived on this, was it a really tiny island, so they were tiny? And then you have regular humans who had more space, so they were able to get bigger. Same thing was kind of with the mammoths, too. They had more area to roam, and they had more environment to sustain them, so they were able to get to the sizes they got. Whereas our elephants today don't have that luxury, so that's why they've stayed smaller. And, I mean, even just general modern-day humans, you've had... Back in the 1700s, people were shorter. I think the tallest person was 5-something. 5'5" was
taller
really
than me,
tall, right? 5'5" was the tall guys. The guys that were 5'5" that was tall back then.
Suzanne, you're tall.
Yeah, see, I'm just average. If I was, I would be normal height if I lived in the 1700s. Because I'm only 4'11".
That's a novel concept.
It really is. But people like my husband who were 6 foot, they would have been considered giants back in the day. So evolution has its way of doing things. You're either going to be really short because That's just, your genetic makeup in the area that you're in, or you're going to be really tall. And it's the same thing with animals as well.
I see where you're coming from on that,
Mhm.
but we're touching base on that section.
We're bringing back everything that's going to turn around and it's going to backfire and it's going to kill us. We're bringing back animals, dinosaurs. We're programming all these crazy computers and robots now, and yeah, we're basically
here's a question. Here's a question. So let's say one of these scientists are, really smart, and they bring back the T-Rex. Okay, but T-Rex is about the size of a chicken.
Yeah.
So then what?
That I would be okay with, because it would be like a cute little pet.
There we go.
Like a pygmy T-Rex. I can handle that. Like a teacup T-Rex. I'm good with this. I mean, if it's a little bit bigger than those, those little water squishies that are in the pill and you pop them in the water and they grow into a little dinosaur, I'm okay with that size. Anything bigger than that, we may have a little bit of a problem.
Well, I'm talking, chicken size.
Walk them down the street and everything else.
Right? We can get them a T-Rex harness, walk them down, but they would have to be
a muzzle. Muzzles. Really strong muzzles.
I still don't think
the only problem with that is, would it still be ferocious at that size?
Have you seen
everything? I was going to say, anything that's tiny, anything that is tiny, teacup, miniature, it can be mean. Have you ever met a Shetland pony?
Yes, I had a few when I was growing up.
Those are mean.
I mean,
very mean.
Chances are, if we had a chicken-sized T-Rex, it would actually be meaner and more aggressive than the standard-sized T-Rex.
Yeah. It would be like a Pomeranian barking at everything that moves, including the leaves.
Right?
It would be interesting.
See, I'm perfectly fine with them bringing back dinosaurs as long as they're miniatures.
Teacups.
So you can just pick them up and...
So I got a question. Would that mean that a tiny teacup Dilophosaurus would technically be a praying mantis?
Maybe.
Because they both spit. Pew,
pew. Maybe.
Questions to ponder.
More questions to ponder. Being in the South, some questionable people do some questionable things. We'd end up with T-Rex fighting rings that are like,
Yeah.
See, there again, that comes under, the animal welfare.
Yeah, that would be inhumane, as it is with any animal.
Yeah.
See, nobody ever thinks of anything but the giant original size format of things you bring back. They don't think of, like, if you were to bring it down to our size.
Right.
Like, put it in proportion to a human. What would that look like?
Yeah, but the humans are getting taller. So who's to say that the dinosaurs wouldn't get taller over time?
Not me. I'm shrinking. And I'm already...
they also have to adapt to... They would have to adapt to the modern environment.
Yeah.
Like they adapted to their previous environment.
Right.
So, again, what would that look like?
But I have a feeling, with our current climate, being that in some areas are a lot hotter than they ever were, even back in the 80s, I don't think that they would be able to adapt, because I don't think, and I could be wrong, but I don't think the temperatures back when dinosaurs lived were that hot.
No, but they were still that humid.
Probably, yes.
So they would probably still thrive just like the alligators and crocodiles do.
Right. And I don't think that but then you also have to think we have winters too. And even in the South, our winters can get down to, the teens.
Yeah, but they're never long term. I mean, at the very least, they would probably go into hibernation just like the rest of the reptiles.
Yeah.
Short term hibernation just to get through it. I mean, for some areas like over here in Texas, that'd probably be like an overnight nap a week at most. Right. And then they could wake right up and go about their day. I mean, it wouldn't be that bad, but if you're going to put them in like some kind of little petting zoo or something up in the Northeast, you would probably have to consider the weather conditions there.
Right.
And decide on if they're even going to be allowed to roam the wooded areas up there, even in teacup form.
Yeah. But honestly, since they are reptiles for the most part, I know just being in the country, like snakes, if it's below a certain temperature, they're dormant. They're not coming out unless you absolutely find them and poke them and make them move. Which is usually at about 30, 40 degrees. I can walk through my woods all day long, in the winter when it's, below 50 degrees outside and not run into a snake. So.
Yeah, but that's the goal in life.
Right?
To be able to enjoy the wooded areas without the predators out.
Right. That's the only reason. The only time I ever go into my woods is like in the winter. Other than that, they're off limits.
I can understand why.
Ticks mainly.
Yeah, that too. And mosquitoes.
Yeah.
I hate mosquitoes.
Oh God, could you imagine if they brought back a prehistoric mosquito?
Technically, they are the roaming DNA vials.
Yeah, they're using that.
They're also little disease spreaders.
Yeah.
Which is really annoying.
But yeah, I mean, if they brought back one of those huge mosquitoes, I just no.
Nope.
It's suck you dry in like a minute.
I will be paler than a sheet of paper because I will not be stepping outside. Period. End of story. I will discover an underground tunnel system and use that. I won't go topside. I will give Fallout a run for its money.
There you go.
Okay, so right. So we covered a lot then.
Mm-hmm.
It is a rabbit hole.
It is.
It's a very shaky rabbit hole that can no doubt probably collapse at some point, and then they're all going to wave their hands up in the air and go, "Oh, sorry."
Yeah. Oh, my bad.
More like an explosive rabbit hole, because once you start that choo-choo train, it's going to go all the way until it hits the mountain. It won't even go around it. It'll just smash right into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
Well, okay. Shall we wrap it up, ladies? Or have we got more to say about the subject?
Tons, but we can always break it off for another discussion.
This is true.
Yeah, we could. Right. Anyway, that was de-extinction. We'd like to know what your thoughts are about it. So, obviously send us your comments so that, we know that, what the human race actually thinks about this. So obviously like and share, and obviously press the subscription button. And other than that, thank you for watching. All right, ladies. Bye-bye.
Bye.